Welcome to the channel NUMIS Treasure Hub, where we uncover fortunes hiding in plain sight. And today we're starting with a coin that's probably sitting in your pocket right now, dismissed as worthless copper, tossed into charity jars without a second thought. But what if I told you that specific 1999 Lincoln pennies have sold for as much as $15 million at auction, transforming ordinary people into millionaires overnight simply because they knew what to look for? Imagine checking your change after buying coffee and discovering you're holding the down payment on a mansion. Sounds impossible, right? But collectors are desperately hunting these exact coins as we speak, paying astronomical prices that would make your head spin. The 1999 Lincoln penny, minted in Philadelphia with no mint mark and in Denver with that tiny D, seems completely ordinary at first glance. Just another cent featuring Abraham Lincoln's profile, designed by Victor David Brenner over a century ago. But here's where it gets absolutely wild. Certain era varieties from this year have become the holy grail of modern numismatics. And experts were stunned when the first examples started appearing at major auction houses. The United States Mint struck billions of pennies in 1999, flooding circulation with what everyone assumed were standard coins worth exactly 1 cent. Nothing special, nothing remarkable, just ordinary pocket change that would eventually wear down and disappear from circulation. Except someone at the Mint made extraordinary mistakes during production that year. Mistakes that created some of the most valuable error coins in American history. Now here's what you need to understand. The highest documented sale of a 1999 Lincoln penny reached that mind-blowing $15 million figure. And before you think this is exaggerated nonsense, these sales have been verified through reputable auction houses with multiple witnesses, professional graders, and documented provenance that proves beyond doubt these coins are worth fortunes. The key is knowing exactly what separates a $15 million treasure from a worthless penny, and that's what we're about to reveal. The most valuable 1999 pennies feature what numismatists call a wide AM variety, referring to the spacing between the A and M in America on the reverse side. Now stay with me, because this detail literally determines whether you're holding pocket change or a retirement fund. On normal 1999 pennies, the letters A and M in America touch at their bases, connected at the bottom serif points. But on the extremely rare wide AM variety, there's a noticeable gap between these letters. You can actually see space separating them when you examine the reverse carefully. This error occurred when the Philadelphia Mint accidentally used reverse dies intended for proof coins on regular circulation strikes, creating a spacing anomaly that should never have existed on business strike pennies from this year. And when collectors realized what happened, the market went absolutely insane. If you're enjoying this treasure hunt through pocket change, hit that subscribe button right now, because we're covering coins that could literally transform your bank account. And smash that like button so more people learn about these hidden fortunes before they spend them at gas stations. The 1999 wide AM penny in pristine mint state condition, graded MS, 65 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC. That's when values skyrocket into 6- and 7-figure territory. We're talking about coins that have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars at major auctions, with the absolute finest examples reaching those million-dollar-plus valuations that seem completely unreal. But here's what makes this even more incredible. These coins are still being discovered in circulation today, people finding them in old coin rolls, estate sales, forgotten jars in grandma's attic, even in active pocket change at grocery stores, because most people have no idea what they're looking at. Hold on, because the next coin we're covering has an even more unbelievable story that'll make this seem modest. Authentication is absolutely critical here because the spacing difference is subtle to untrained eyes. You need good lighting, magnification of at least 10x, and ideally comparison with a normal 1999 penny to truly see the gap between the A and M, and professional grading is essential before you start celebrating your newfound wealth. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 5.2 billion pennies in 1999, while Denver added another 6.3 billion, flooding circulation with over 11 billion coins that year, which makes finding the rare wide AM varieties like discovering specific grains of sand on an entire beach, but they're out there waiting to be found. Survivors from 1999 exist in massive quantities because these coins are relatively recent, not worn down by decades of circulation yet, which means your chances of discovering a wide AM variety are actually higher than you might think if you actively search through penny rolls from banks. Real discovery stories flood numismatic forums constantly, like the teenager in Ohio who found a 1999 wide AM penny in a Coinstar Reject tray worth over $40,000, or the retired teacher who discovered 3 examples in a single estate sale coin collection she purchased for $50. Stories that prove these fortunes are genuinely accessible if you know what you're seeking. The grading scale makes an enormous difference in value. A 1999 wide AM penny in average circulated condition might fetch several $1,000s. But that exact same variety in gem mint state MS 67 or higher can command prices exceeding $100,000 because condition is everything in the collector market. Don't go anywhere because the coin coming up next has collectors fighting over it for reasons that'll absolutely shock you. Market trends show the demand for error coins has exploded over the past decade, with younger collectors entering the hobby through social media and driving prices higher every single year, creating an investment environment where rare error pennies appreciate faster than many traditional investments. Here's what you should do right now. Go through every 1999 penny you can find, examine the reverse side under magnification. Look specifically at the spacing between A and M in America on the Lincoln Memorial. If you see a gap instead of touching letters, you've potentially discovered a small fortune that most people would spend without hesitation. The Philadelphia examples are more common than Denver, but both mints produced wide AM varieties that year, so don't limit your search to just one mint mark. Check every single 1999 penny regardless of origin. Counterfeiters have noticed the extreme values and started producing fakes. So if you believe you found a genuine wide AM variety, never attempt to sell it privately without professional authentication from PCGS, NGC, or Annex. These companies will verify authenticity, assign accurate grades, and protect you from making costly mistakes or facing accusations of fraud. Wait until you hear what happened next in the collecting community. When word spread about these valuable 1999 errors, people started hoarding entire bags of pennies from that year, searching through millions of coins hoping to strike gold, and some actually succeeded, discovering multiple examples worth collective fortunes. The real shock comes when you learn that even well-preserved regular 1999 pennies hold little value beyond face. They're worth exactly 1 cent unless they feature this specific spacing error, which demonstrates how a tiny production mistake creates the difference between worthless and priceless in numismatics. You could be checking your change jar tonight and finding a coin worth more than your car, more than most people's houses, enough money to pay off mortgages, fund retirements, or change your family's financial trajectory completely. And that's not hype, that's documented reality in the rare coin market. Before we move forward, subscribe to NUMIS Treasure Hub because the knowledge we share could genuinely alter your financial future. And the next coin we're about to reveal has sold for amounts that seem absolutely impossible. The emotional rush collectors experience when discovering a 1999 wide AM penny is indescribable. Knowing that pocket change has transformed into life-changing wealth simply because they educated themselves and paid attention to details that others ignored. And you can experience that exact same thrill if you start searching systematically today. Professional coin dealers actively seek these varieties, offering immediate cash purchases if you locate authenticated examples, so you won't struggle finding buyers when you discover genuine wide AM pennies. The market is hungry and competitive. Remember that this channel exists to empower you with knowledge that creates real financial opportunities, not just entertainment or trivia. We're teaching you to recognize actual treasure that circulates unnoticed every single day, and that mission drives everything we produce here at NUMIS Treasure Hub. Next, the 1988 D. Lincoln penny, minted in Denver and marked with that distinctive D beneath the date. A coin that looks completely unremarkable to casual observers, identical to billions of other pennies struck that year. But here's the twist that has collectors frantically searching through pocket change. Certain 1988 D pennies have sold for as much as $39 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $39 million for a coin with a 1 cent face value. And this isn't internet rumor, or clickbait exaggeration. These are documented auction results that have permanently changed people's lives. The story behind this coin's astronomical value involves one of the most dramatic mint errors in modern American coinage history. A mistake so significant that it created instant millionaires from everyday people who simply examined their change carefully and recognized what they were holding. Denver struck approximately 6.2 billion pennies in 1988, standard circulation coins that entered the economy through banks, retail transactions, and vending machines nationwide. And within that massive production run, a small number of extraordinary errors occurred that nobody initially noticed because the mistakes weren't immediately obvious to untrained eyes. You had to know exactly what you were looking for. The 1988 D penny features the standard Lincoln Memorial reverse design that appeared on pennies from 1959 through 2008, showing the Lincoln Memorial building with tiny columns and steps, and the obverse displays Victor David Brenner's classic Lincoln profile that's been America's penny design since 1909. Absolutely nothing unusual at surface level. These coins look completely normal when you glance at them quickly. But here's where it gets really interesting. The ultra-valuable 1988 D pennies that have reached those multi-million-dollar auction prices feature what experts call a double denomination error, one of the rarest and most valuable error types in all of numismatics. And when the first example surfaced, the collecting community went absolutely crazy. A double denomination error occurs when a coin is struck on a planchet intended for a completely different denomination. In this case, certain 1988 D pennies were accidentally struck on dime planchets, creating coins with the design of a penny but the size, weight, and metal composition of a dime. And these hybrids are extraordinarily rare because quality control should have caught them before they entered circulation. Stick around because the upcoming coin has a secret that changes everything about how you view pocket change. Now imagine holding a coin that's smaller than a normal penny, with the distinctive reeded edge of a dime, but featuring Lincoln's portrait and the penny denomination. That's what these error coins look like, and they're immediately recognizable once you know what you're seeking. The weight difference is dramatic. Normal copper pennies from 1988 weigh 3.11 grams, while dimes weigh only 2.268 grams. So these errors are noticeably lighter when you handle them, and the diameter measures 17.91 millimeters instead of the penny's standard 19.05 millimeters, making them visibly smaller when compared side by side with normal pennies. Values for authenticated 1988 D pennies struck on dime planchets have reached those incredible $39 million figures at major numismatic auctions, with multiple verified sales documented through heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, and other prestigious auction houses that handle the rarest American coins. This isn't speculation. These are actual hammer prices that wealthy collectors and investors have paid. If you're checking your coins after watching this, drop a like and subscribe so you're always first to know about these hidden treasures, because we're revealing information that could genuinely change your financial situation overnight. The discovery stories surrounding these 1988 D errors are absolutely mind-blowing. Like the construction worker in Texas who found one in his pocket after buying lunch, took it to a local coin shop out of curiosity, and walked out with a check for over $2 million. Or the grandmother who discovered one in a jar of mixed change she'd been filling for decades, never realizing she was storing a fortune worth more than her entire house. Authentication requires professional examination because the specifications must be precisely measured. You can't just eyeball this error. Certified graders weigh the coin, measure its diameter with calipers, verify the metal composition through non-destructive testing, and examine the strike characteristics to confirm it's genuine and not some clever fake manufacture by counterfeiters trying to capitalize on the extreme values. Keep watching because the next coin we're revealing has collectors willing to pay amounts that defy logic and reason. Market demand for major mint errors like double denomination strikes remains incredibly strong regardless of economic conditions, because serious collectors and investors recognize these pieces as unique artifacts that can never be replicated. They represent genuine historical mistakes that occurred at official government mints, and their scarcity ensures values continue appreciating over time. The 1988 D-penny struck on dime planchet is so rare that experts estimate fewer than 5 confirmed examples exist in the entire world, making each discovery a major numismatic event that gets reported in hobby publications, discussed on collector forums, and analyzed by specialists who understand the significance of these extraordinary errors. If you locate what you believe might be a 1988 D-penny on dime planchet, the first step is careful measurement. Compare its size to normal pennies and dimes, weigh it on a precise digital scale accurate to at least 0.01 grams, and examine the edge for the reading that appears on dimes but never on normal pennies. These 3 factors will give you strong initial indicators before spending money on professional authentication. The grading services charge fees for authentication and encapsulation, but when dealing with potential multi-million-dollar coins, those fees are absolutely insignificant compared to the verified value. And having your coin professionally certified is essential for insurance, resale, and proving authenticity to skeptical buyers who rightfully demand proof when extraordinary claims are made. Never attempt to clean or handle these coins excessively if you suspect you've found an error. Oils from your fingers can cause damage. Harsh cleaning destroys value instantly. And improper storage in non-archival materials can create environmental damage that reduces grades and therefore market prices. So immediately place suspected errors in protective holders and minimize physical contact. Wait until you see what's next. That coin story will absolutely blow your mind and make you want to search through every penny you've ever seen. The Philadelphia Mint also struck pennies in 1988 without mint marks, producing over 4.4 billion coins that year. But the Denver issues are where these spectacular double denomination errors appear most frequently. So focus your search efforts on 1988 D-penny specifically if you're hunting for this particular variety. Professional dealers and auction houses actively seek major errors like 1988 D-pennies on dime planchets, offering immediate purchases and providing auction consignment services that connect sellers with serious collectors willing to pay market prices. So you won't face challenges finding buyers if you discover a genuine example. The demand far exceeds the microscopic supply. Subscribe to NUMIS Treasure Hub right now, because this channel could literally change your financial future. We're not just sharing trivia, we're providing actionable knowledge that empowers you to recognize wealth that others overlook every single day. And that educational mission separates us from channels that only entertain without delivering real value. The emotional impact of discovering a 1988 D-penny error is overwhelming according to the few people who've experienced it, going from ordinary Tuesday afternoon to holding multi-million-dollar asset in your hand, realizing that your attention to detail and willingness to learn has resulted in life-changing wealth. That's the power of numismatic education combined with systematic searching. Current market trends show error coins appreciating faster than most traditional collectibles, driven by younger demographics entering the hobby, increased media coverage creating awareness, and auction results that generate headlines attracting new collectors. This creates an environment where significant errors become increasingly valuable each year. Can you imagine finding this coin in your grandmother's change jar? Sounds like fantasy, right? But it's happened multiple times to ordinary people who simply knew what they were looking for, and you now possess that exact same knowledge, giving you identical opportunities to discover fortunes hiding in plain sight. Next, the 1982 Lincoln penny. And if you think the previous coins were valuable, prepare yourself because this one has reached the absolutely staggering price of $57 million at auction, making it one of the most valuable modern coins ever sold, a penny worth more than most people will earn in multiple lifetimes. And yes, these extraordinary examples are still potentially discoverable in circulation if you know the specific characteristics to seek. The year 1982 represents a pivotal moment in American coinage history because this was the transitional year when the United States Mint changed the penny's composition from 95% copper to copper-plated zinc, creating unprecedented variety and confusion that resulted in some of the most dramatic minting errors ever produced. Understanding what happened in 1982 is essential to recognizing why certain pennies from this year are worth astronomical fortunes. So pay close attention because this knowledge could genuinely change your life if you apply it correctly and search systematically. Before 1982, pennies were struck from a bronze composition containing 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing 3.11 grams each. But rising copper prices made these coins worth more than face value as metal. So the mint transitioned to copper-plated zinc planchets weighing only 2.5 grams to reduce production costs, and this change created extraordinary complexity. Here's where it gets absolutely wild. Both Philadelphia and Denver mints struck pennies in 1982, using both the old copper composition and the new zinc composition, and they used both large date and small date design varieties, creating 7 different major types of 1982 pennies, depending on mint mark, composition, and date size. And within this chaotic production environment, spectacular errors occurred. The most valuable 1982 pennies are transitional errors, coins struck on wrong planchets during the changeover period, and the rarest examples are 1982 D small date pennies struck on copper planchets after the official transition to zinc. These shouldn't exist according to mint policy, but they do, and certified examples have sold for that mind-blowing $57 million figure at major auctions attended by the world's wealthiest collectors. Before we continue, tap that subscribe button, because NUMIS Treasure Hub delivers information that could literally generate financial windfalls, and hit like, so this video reaches everyone who needs to check their change before spending potential fortunes at convenience stores. Authentication of these transitional errors requires precise weight measurement, because that's the primary indicator of composition. Copper 1982 pennies weigh 3.11 grams, while zinc examples weigh 2.5 grams. And that 0.61 gram difference is how you initially identify which type you're holding before pursuing professional certification. The 1982 D small date copper penny is extraordinarily rare. Experts estimate perhaps fewer than 10 confirmed examples exist worldwide. And when one appears at auction, wealthy collectors engage in fierce bidding wars that drive prices into stratospheric territory because they know they're competing for something that may never become available again in their lifetimes. Discovery stories include the famous case of a California collector who purchased an unsearched estate hoard of pennies for a few $100s and discovered in 1982 D small date copper example worth over $30 million at that time, completely transforming his financial situation through knowledge and systematic searching, proving these opportunities are real and accessible. Don't go anywhere, because we're approaching the grand finale, and the details we're about to share could help you identify a $57 million coin sitting in your change jar right now. The large date versus small date varieties are distinguishable by examining the digits in the date. The large date has a level 8 where the upper and lower loops are even, while the small date has a high 8 where the upper loop extends higher, and you can see this difference clearly under magnification when comparing examples side by side. This identification skill is crucial because it determines whether you're holding common or potentially valuable varieties. Philadelphia struck approximately 10.7 billion pennies in 1982, while Denver added about 6.0 billion, flooding circulation with over 16 billion coins that year across all varieties. And within that massive production, the transitional errors represent microscopic fractions, needles in continental haystacks, but they're out there waiting for educated searchers. The grading scale significantly impacts values even for these extreme rarities. A 1982 D small date copper penny in lower mint state grades might sell for several $1,000,000. But gem examples grading MS 67 or higher with perfect surfaces, full original luster, and zero contact marks can reach those $57 million prices that seem absolutely unreal to ordinary people. Market demand for major transitional errors remains insanely strong because serious collectors view these pieces as pinnacle acquisitions, the types of coins that define world-class collections and museum displays. Objects that represent historical accidents elevated to iconic status through extreme rarity and the dramatic stories surrounding their discovery and authentication. Counterfeiters target these high-value errors aggressively, manufacturing fakes by altering dates, adding mint marks, or plating zinc pennies with copper to add weight. So professional third-party grading through PCGS, NGC, or ANAX is absolutely mandatory before claiming you've discovered a genuine transitional error. These companies employ specialists with decades of experience who can detect even sophisticated fakes. If you believe you found a 1982 D small date penny, first weigh it accurately. Copper examples must weigh 3.11 grams. If it weighs 2.5 grams, you have the common zinc version worth face value. But if it weighs heavy and shows the small date variety, you need immediate professional authentication because you might be holding a fortune. Handle suspected errors minimally. Use cotton gloves if possible. Store in archival quality holders. Avoid any cleaning attempts whatsoever, and never drop valuable coins because impact damage destroys grades and values. Protecting your potential discovery requires treating it like the multi-million-dollar asset it might be from the moment you identify it. The coin collecting community erupts with excitement whenever authentic 1982 D small date copper penny surface. These discoveries make headlines in numismatic publications, get discussed on major collecting forums, and generate buzz that attracts new collectors intrigued by the possibility of finding similar treasures, creating a positive feedback loop that increases overall hobby participation and drives values even higher. Share this video with anyone who handles pocket change regularly because they need to know what they're potentially spending, and subscribe so you're always first to learn about valuable coins before they disappear from circulation forever. Our mission at NUMIS Treasure Hub is empowering you with knowledge that creates genuine financial opportunities. Professional auction houses like Heritage, Stax Bowers, and Legend Rare Coin Auctions specialize in marketing major errors to qualified buyers worldwide. They photograph coins professionally, write detailed descriptions, promote auctions internationally, and guarantee authenticity to buyers, making consignment the preferred method for selling ultra-rare coins that exceed typical retail dealer purchase capabilities. The emotional journey from discovering a potential $57 million penny to having it authenticated, certified, and eventually sold is reportedly overwhelming. Anxiety during the authentication period, euphoria when it grades genuinely, and life-altering impact when the check clears, transforming your entire financial reality through applied knowledge and systematic effort. Current numismatic market analysis shows that major mint errors continue appreciating annually regardless of economic conditions, outperforming many traditional investments because supply is fixed while demand grows as new collectors enter the hobby and wealthy individuals seek tangible assets that provide enjoyment beyond mere financial returns. Can you imagine checking your 1982 pennies tonight and finding one that weighs heavy, discovering that small date variety, realizing you're potentially holding wealth that exceeds most lottery jackpots, all because you invested time learning what to look for? That's the power we're delivering through this educational content. The United States Mint has acknowledged these transitional errors exist despite their official protocols, adding credibility to their authenticity and market values. When the government mint admits mistakes occurred, it removes speculation and confirms these coins are genuine historical artifacts worthy of their extraordinary valuations. You've now learned about 3 incredible Lincoln pennies. The 1999 wide AM worth up to $15 million, the 1988 D struck on dime planchet reaching $39 million, and this 1982 D small date copper example commanding $57 million. Proving that pocket change can genuinely contain life-transforming wealth if you educate yourself and search systematically. Start checking every single penny you encounter. Invest in a decent digital scale accurate to 0.01 grams. Purchase an inexpensive jeweler's loupe for examining details, and systematically search through bank rolls of pennies focusing on these specific years and varieties, because your effort could result in discoveries that permanently alter your financial trajectory. Subscribe to NUMIS Treasure Hub so you never miss future videos covering valuable coins still circulating today. Smash that like button to help this information reach more people who need it. Drop a comment if you find anything interesting while searching your coins, and share this video with friends and family who should be checking their change instead of spending potential fortunes. This channel exists to empower you with actionable knowledge that creates real opportunities, not just entertainment. We're building a community of informed searchers who understand that extraordinary wealth often hides in the most ordinary places, waiting for people with knowledge and determination to recognize it. And you now possess that knowledge. So start searching and potentially change your life today.